to the news updates on AFRICUNIA TV, reaching you in Lagos, Nigeria. My name is Deborah. Many thanks for joining me. Our first stop is Togo. Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan met with his counterparts in Togo on Tuesday as part of his 3-day visit to Africa. The two leaders met in Lomé for a day of discussion. Initially, the Turkish leader was in Angola, where he met with his counterpart President João Lourenço on Monday in Luanda at the beginning of the trip. Erdogan is scheduled to visit Nigeria, where he will meet President Muhammadu Buhari. And in more stories in Sudan, hundreds of truck drivers in Sudan have continued their month-long strike blocking access to the main sea entry point. The demonstration began when key eastern tribes opposing the transitional government in Khartoum blocked roads and stopped shipments at the Red Sea port. They are calling for the cancellation of part of an October 2020 peace deal signed between the government and rebel groups. And moving on, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres called Monday on authorities in Eswatini to respect the rights of children after schools were closed and a new wave of protests against Africa's last absolute monarchy was suppressed. Guterres said in a statement that he was following with concerns the ongoing development in Eswatini, including the recent deployment of armed security forces at various schools, reports of excessive use of force in response to student demonstrations, and the indefinite closure of schools. And more updates from the United Nations. More than 100 million extremely poor people in Africa are threatened by accelerating climate change that could also melt away the continent's few glaciers within 2 decades, a UN report warned on Tuesday. In a report ahead of the COP26 Climate Summit in Glasgow, the UN highlighting Africa's disproportionate vulnerability last year from food insecurity, poverty, and population displacement. By 2030, it is estimated that up to 118 million extremely poor people will be exposed to drought, flood, and extreme heat in Africa if adequate response measures are not put in place, said Josepha Leonel Goria Sacco, Commissioner for Rural Economy and Agriculture at the African Union Commission. And in Burundi, one of the last countries in the world to inoculate its people against COVID-19, received its first batch of vaccine on Thursday after a major about turn by the government. The East African country, whose leaders had previously downplayed the severity of the coronavirus pandemic, took delivery of 500,000 donated doses of China's Sinopharm vaccine at a ceremony in the economic capital of Bujumbura. Vaccinations against COVID-19 begin next week if all goes well, the health ministry said. And on the Nigerian scene, gunmen from a suspected criminal gang attacked the village market in northwest Nigeria's Sokoto state, killing 43 people. Heavily armed gangs known locally as bandits have terrorized northwest and central Nigeria for years, razing and looting villages, but attacks have become even more violent in recent months. And still in Nigeria, the Kaduna state government yesterday announced a 12-day ultimatum for all civil servants in the state to receive COVID-19 vaccine in the latest of compulsory vaccination push embarked on by the federal and some state government. The ultimatum was announced in a statement issued by the special advisor to the governor on media and communication, Muyiwa Adekeye. According to him, all civil servants are expected to be vaccinated by October 31st, after which they will be denied entry into government offices if not found to have complied with the directives. And more stories from Nigeria. Expectations were heightened today, October 20th, for the memorial of the #EndSARS, the one single event that reverberated across the world last year beside COVID-19. The activists have, instead of its planned protest, stated that they will be having a car procession in honor of those believed to have lost their lives during the #EndSARS protest. The car procession would drive through the Lekki toll gate, which was the epicenter of the protest last year. And we move to the foreign scene, where more than 100 people have died in several days of massive flooding and devastating landslide that swept away roads and houses in India and Nepal, officials have said, with scores more missing. 5 of the dead were from a single family whose house was buried by a massive landslide, a local officer also said. Another landslide in the northern Almora district killed 5 people after huge rocks and a wall of mud demolished and engulfed their homes. An update from Brazil. The senator leading a probe into Brazil's handling of the COVID-19 pandemic has recommended that President Jair Bolsonaro face 13 criminal charges, including homicide, for decisions that allegedly encouraged the virus spread and helped lead to more than 600,000 deaths. It remains highly unlikely, however, that Bolsonaro will face a trial on any such charges, which would have to be brought by Brazil's Prosecutor General, a presidential nominee. Bolsonaro has dismissed the probe as politically motivated. And we move to the sports scene, where Lionel Messi scored twice in quick succession, including an exquisite Panenka-style penalty to rescue Paris Saint-Germain as they rally to beat RB Leipzig 3-2. Messi equalized in the 67th minute, poking home from close range after goalkeeper Peter Gulassi tipped his first shot onto the post before dinking a penalty down the middle for his third goal since joining PSG from Barcelona. And last but not the least, Mohamed Salah scored twice as Liverpool eventually won a thrilling Champions League battle with the Attelico Madrid 3-2 in a game which featured an Anthony Griezmann-inspired two-goal comeback from the host before he was sent off, and then late VAR drama when the Spanish side were awarded a penalty. In a clash that felt more like a decisive knockout than a group stage match, Liverpool raced into a two-goal lead, with Salah capping a wonderful dribble with a deflected drive past Jan Oblak to score for the 9th game in a row, before Naby Keita crashed a superb volley home from a half clearance. And it's a wrap on News Update today. You can catch up with the news and programs by downloading the Join Team and Pangram app on your mobile devices from Google Play Store and the App Store. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay updated and connected. Once again, my name is Deborah Eze. Bye for now.